Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. I'm Christian, I'm your host. And I know I say this at every episode, but you guys gonna love today's guest. How often do you have a guest which has... Actually, I tell a guest right after this. Hello again. My name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show, and you guys gonna love today's guest. His name is Jonathan, and so you guys know we do a little ethical stalking. So what we actually did, we had to schedule this interview with him, and so we had extra 2 weeks and kind of looking at him and what he does on the website. But I have this guy. You guys gonna fall in love with him, and he has a company called the Warrior Golf Academy. And you guys gonna absolutely love what he's all about, because he's not just really good in what he does and he inspires people and he brings people up to the next level. He's also an amazing human being. With that, Jonathan, how are you? And welcome to the Disruptive Chef Show.
Awesome introduction. I appreciate it.
So if you don't mind, take the next 5 minutes. Just tell our audience what you currently do. Talk to us a little bit about the Warrior Golf Academy and how you came to be.
Yeah, so Warrior Golf Academy basically came out of the need for something to come after the introduction of golf, right? So there are some programs out. When I transitioned out of the military, I had a lot of PTSD, a lot of substance abuse, a lot of darkness, a lot of despair, and I was kind of stuck in a dark pit. And I used golf as a vehicle to pull me out. So with that being said, I've been looking for other therapeutic golf outlets, and there's other fantastic ones out there that have to do with the outdoors, equestrian therapies, fishing therapies, cooking therapies, right?
Yeah.
It's all looked at from your perspective to be a type of a therapy. And I found my solace in golf. Now, what I found lacking was the golf community and that tightness that I had and that camaraderie amongst the military. And I believe now, coming into this world, what I can do is create a one-stop shop to offer free services for our nation's military, veterans, and first responders. And they've given so much already, and I want to give back in the thing that's helped me. So I've written manuals, I have certification classes, I offer pathways to employment, I do everything that has to do inside of the golf industry to help somebody get involved. So a lot of people say it's very costly to get into the golf, right? I have free t-shirts. I'll give you free logoed shirts that say Warrior Golf Academy. I got hats I can give to you. I have partnerships with FootJoy is fantastic. We can get you some wet weather gear, some shoes, and then also golf clubs. Anytime we have people donate us golf clubs, and then with those donated golf clubs, I have other companies that donate me the spare parts, right? And then we'll break that down and we'll rebuild this golf club set from scratch. So it's specifically made for you as whoever you want to be. And with that, even if you continue to not golf, there's going to be a certain sentimental value that you hold on to those, the time that we're put into it. And maybe we got the set for like $50 off of Facebook Marketplace, but it provides not only a skill set, but it creates an opportunity to get us out of the house. And I like to say every time I'm out, my biggest message is just get outside, volunteer, do something, because staying inside and that loneliness and that isolation is going to be the thing that makes every day much, much harder.
I absolutely love that story. And Jonathan, I think your insights in leadership, personal growth, and community building, I think transcend industries. And I want to talk a little bit more about that. So where or when did you start the Warrior Golf Academy? What was the reasoning behind it? And when did you know you needed to start that?
So I was working at a couple of different golf clubs, and I was gung ho, right? I got my PGA Hope certification, so I went through all the classes so I can teach for the PGA for disabled individuals. I attended the U.S. adaptive golf tournaments. I went to the U.S. disabled golf shows. I hopped in with everything, right? And what I found was the community is fantastic. These people are amazing, but there's just not enough of it, right? So, like PGA Hope is a 6-week program, and once you complete that 6 weeks, you're done, and you can program one time, and that's kind of the end of it. So, what I want to create is hopefully I'll work on it, but we'll see if I can get away with calling it like an after hope, right? And I want to create a community for afterwards. So there's a resource that you have to go, hey, let's go play golf at this place, or hey, these places offer military discounts or first responders, or we have every Saturday there's this group that goes and plays at these different courses. So I have all that different stuff listed on my website as well. So that way I'm not just a service myself, but I like to use the analogy that like the Florida Keys down here, right? So we're in Florida, and being in Boca, there's the Florida Keys. There's so many of them, and everybody wants to own an island, right? But I want to be the bridge, right? I want to be the bridges. There's nobody connecting everybody, and that's what I want to be. I want to be that strong, stable force that's always going to be there when you need it. And even though maybe I don't help you personally, I can connect you or put you with the people that do. And at the very least, I mean, people, you can listen to this, and maybe I don't know you at all. Put my phone number on the screen and call me, and I will listen. Right? Sometimes it's just take somebody that you don't know to explain things that you're never going to talk to anybody else about, and you just need somebody to listen. And that's what we need more of.
So I live in Connecticut, and all of our listeners up here, we hate people like you, especially for the next 4 months, because it's really cold up here. So don't say Florida. No.
Oh my gosh, I know. I had to turn. If you see now, like I don't know, maybe in the reflection of my thing, you can see I got my fireplace emoji going on the TV.
Oh my God,
going off here.
You so bad. So for me, what I love about all of this is golf, culinary arts. They really require, adaptability. They require teamwork. And for me, I'm so fascinated with what you do. So talk to us a little bit. What are some of the leadership lessons you believe can be learned from that?
So some of the leadership lessons is just listen, right? Everybody has, and they're caught up in, I don't like using the term everybody, but most people tend to just think of themselves, or they're stuck in their own mind, or you're not sure of what an experience through somebody else's eyes might look like. Yeah. And it's very hard to imagine what that's like if you've never been through something. So I like to say the biggest leadership thing is hone in on the feelings. Maybe you can't relate with somebody in a wheelchair, but you can relate with how frustrating it is if a door doesn't open properly, right? You'd be like, oh my gosh, like it was locked and I wasn't sure, but I just wasn't pulling hard enough. And then somebody else, or you pushed when it said pull, or you just didn't know. Everybody has that frustrating, and it just makes you feel a certain way. Those feelings everybody can hone in on. So when you're talking about a feeling of despair, or you're feeling of a feeling of community, like there is in golf, I want that to be the same as there is like in the culinary arts, right? You have your crew, your team, and you got to be tight, right? And having that relationship, everybody knows what that feels like. And I think honing in more on feelings to connect and unite people is going to be the answer moving forward.
I just love the way you talk about kind of bringing the community together, and I love what you do. And let's take a step back. You had to overcome a ton of stuff, and if you feel up for it, I want you to talk about it, and not just the things you had to overcome. I'm interested in what the Disruptive Chef is all about. Is we know what to do. We know there's people out there. We need to seek him out, and hopefully more people are gonna follow you. So talk to us a little bit. What were some of the setbacks you had, and how did you overcome them?
Oh man, I got a lot of setbacks. So I mean, most of the stuff is just mental health. When it comes to me, I had TBI and a lot of PTS. I have terrible sleep patterns. I take a lot of medications for it. I think medications, it's a slippery slope. Being on that, I can't be somebody that advocates against it because I need them. It does help. And I need to see my professionals to seek that advice. And it's different for everybody. And it's a trial and error type thing. But with that being said, it is so hard to navigate.
Yeah.
And if other people haven't been there or can't relate to what that's like, I mean, there's times where you just feel like you're just losing your mind. And I mean, there's literally nothing you can do. And you're trying your hardest and then it just doesn't work. So then you try a different way. And I mean, there's a lot of times where I've had just personal setbacks. And
Yeah.
besides that, when it comes into work, maybe I had a lot of initiatives I wanted to do because I was still young and I'm gung ho for helping everybody, and I want to push things out and say we could do better. And there's a lot of people that are just okay with where they're at, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, well, I'm stuck in this. This has worked for 30 years. Why am I going to do it different? Well, I get that, but why not try it, right?
Yeah.
And
I love that. And listen, you make it sound so simple. This is a ton of stuff which happened to you, and but what parallels do you draw between mastering a craft, whether if it's golf or in the kitchen, and talk to us a little bit on how did you overcome that? So for me, I'm interested because there's people which have the kind of injuries you had. It says, I just give up. I don't do anything. And that never worked for you. And if people follow, and I hope more people follow your content, you could see there was this pivoting point with you. Even the way your facial expression, why you look different. So talk to us about that moment. When did that happen to you?
so that's kind of when I really went out on my own, and I was like, I've had enough of just other people. So it's tough. I mean, I've downsized houses 3 times since starting. I have a car now that doesn't even start sitting in the driveway instead of my nice BMW that I started with when I first moved here. So I mean, there's a ton of sacrifices, and that's just me. I mean, think about my family too. I mean, I have my daughter, my wife, and even Mojo, my service animal. I mean, everyone's taken cutbacks here so we can pursue our dreams because we know that's going to be what we need to for our future, right? And I think that's the pivotal moment, was me understanding that I needed to stop fearing and getting in my own way and do things because I needed to do them for other people, right? And one thing was I had to get myself right. So I went and sought all the help that I needed. I went and got some inpatient help at different places and got medications right. And I did what I needed to do because I've been on that road and I know where it leads. And it's not one that I want to repeat, right? It doesn't. I got lucky with the ending, and I was able to not call it an ending, but a new beginning, right? So with that, I want to take it for what it is and learn. And I hope other people, what they can learn is learn from not your own mistakes. And I try, my daughter walked in, I'm telling her the same thing. Don't learn from your own mistakes, because what if you could only make that mistake one time and it's too late? Learn from other people's mistakes, right? So that's the biggest thing, is learn from others. And it's so hard to ask somebody for help. My biggest movement in getting in, like culinary world or golf, like by no means am I mastering anything about golf, but I do ask for a lot of help. I ask for a lot of mentorship. I have no problem calling up somebody who owns a company and saying, hey, look, how did you get where you're going? I'm very persistent. I will talk to, and I'm sure whoever listens to this, if you've been in part of government here in Florida. I'm sure I've emailed you too, every single program that's available, everyone. I am hounding everybody to just get the awareness out. Let them know that there are programs to help and there's people willing to help. You just have to put two and two together.
So again, you make it sound so easy. It doesn't come natural for people to ask for help. Number one, and I want you to talk a little bit how you kind of work through that. And number two, people kind of say, oh, you know what? They probably heard from somebody like me. Why would they do me? So talk to me a little bit how you overcame that, because you make it sound so, oh, I just call this person, I do this. This is awesome. I think everybody needs to do that, okay? Because I did the same thing. But if you in the situation you are and you feel like you're giving up, so talk to us a little bit. What is the mindset, or what do you do for you to pick up that phone and call people?
Well, the ask is always hard, right? When it comes down to anything, having to ask somebody for something is always difficult. Especially being from the military, you always wanted to be like you were strong, and people were coming to you. Mm-hmm. And I still look at people should be coming to me as the resource. I want to be a resource, right? But I have to go to other people to ask for things so I could be that resource. So I have to just swallow my pride, right? It's not a pride thing. It's I'm not in the position and you are. Could you help me so I can help those that mean something to me? Because at the end of the day, I believe in my purpose and my mission so much that if I could just save one person and change one person's outlook in life, then it's worth it, right? And that one person could affect who knows how many more. It's just the ripple effect, right? And that's what keeps me going. Even answering the phone and sending emails or whatever it could be, is I think about it and I go, well, maybe not this person. I go, well, you know what? Even on like TikTok or Instagram, I'll follow somebody and I go, you know how good it feels to have somebody follow you back from a company, even if you only have like 5 followers. Like I was like, you know what? I got you. Like I'm going to try to do it as much as it does. And then the app almost banned me for using wrong like automated software, and I was like trying to put a dispute in, and I'm like, I'm just liking everybody, because why not? Everybody posts things online to get a reaction. Why would people not give a reaction? It's so easy. I even send thank yous out to people. I say thank you for spending the time to like my post, because I understand that it's just a click. But to you, it's just a click. But to me, that means something. That's why people put this out there, is for the recognition. You wouldn't put it out if you didn't want anybody to like it.
Yeah, I love that. So talk to us a little bit. How has running your own academy, how has that shaped you, and how has that impacted what you do today?
It's definitely opened my eyes to a lot. I'm more aware of what's going on around me than I ever was. I understand that you have to make sure that you have the right people around you. There's a lot of times where, especially in the nonprofit world, like I am not a 501c3, I'm a for-profit LLC, but I go not for profit. I haven't made a penny. I offer everything for free. I send all my manuals out, everything. Like I don't charge anybody. I just don't want that board above me to dictate what I can and can't do, because I hear that all the time too. I say, we've hit our numbers. What do you mean? You've affected 100 veterans out of the 100,000 in the area, and you're okay with that? Like, like I'm not just give me your email list and I'll do the work then. Like that's where I find it frustrating, is that people are saying it's just good enough. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with saying, we're doing just enough. I'm not a big fan. So I would rather go do the work.
I absolutely love that. And you and I talked a little bit before the show. I, in my family, my father-in-law was a senior master sergeant. And for me, I wish he would have had daughter like you, because I was like, I found out afterwards what an amazing human being he was after he passed. I was like, are you sure this is the guy which busted my chops on Saturdays, And it's amazing the impact he has. And when we go back to base, and he passed now over 20 years, we go onto the base today, people still come and say, your dad, was amazing. And I was like, it's humbling doing this. And so I would curious to know. So now where you ran your academy, so how has this shaped on what you do on a daily basis?
I mean, my every day is just this. I mean, I wish I could just go play golf every day. I wanted to. I put a post out there I just wrote on the screen of my phone. I said, social media is hard. I like golf better. So just follow me. And I put that out there like, this is hard, man. Like, it's not what I want to be doing, but I need to. You need to go through the motions. I had to learn how to do everything myself, however difficult it may be, even if it's not my expertise, just because I can't pay somebody else to go do it. But the message to me is so important that it's worth me spending from when I wake up until I go to bed almost sending emails, getting phone calls, talking to people, connecting to people, making sure that if someone sends me an email, I reply back the same day, right? That's important.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody to think, oh, it's been 2 or 3 days, it'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. But you want that sense of urgency. You want to feel like you're important to somebody. So a lot of that stuff is what I think of when I wake up. So I used to start my day. I still start it with a Bible verse, but if you're not into that, you could just start it with affirmations. I think that is a brilliant way. Start off your morning with something good, right? Affirmations are a perfect way, and that's going to put you in a good mindset for the rest of the day, because the last thing you want to do is wake up and have no thoughts and then just the first thing be a negative thing. And then that just ruins the whole day. Like,
I couldn't agree with you more. And hopefully more of our listeners kind of adapt that, because I believe it's really important to kind of set your day up for success. And there's people which struggling out there, and there's people which you probably know which struggling out there. So just reach out to them. I love what you said. What you do is, you answer the emails. Just that little step or that little attention for people, I think could be, game changing. So as you expand the Warrior Golf Academy, so talk to us. What do you want to do? Where do you want to take this? Where do you want to go with that?
I would love to partner with like a veteran rehabilitation center, right? And be able to work like veterans and first responders that have substance abuse and trauma with PTS and other ailments in their life could come, and we could teach them the game of golf and rehab at the same time. So not only do you get to come out and enjoy the game of golf, but I'm going to teach you all aspects of it, teach you a skill, and then we could even get you back into the community with a job. Like it's a win-win-win for everybody. And I think that moving forward is going to be the way to go instead. Because I mean, I'm not afraid to say I've been to some of those places and they are terrible. So being in some of those places where they want me to, build a necklace out of Fruit Loops, I'm sorry, but that's not going to help me be a successful person. Like, so like, teach me how to build a golf club, because that'd be cool. Like, I like that. And then maybe I will form those bonds and those communities with other people and eventually get out and become a participating member of society again.
I love that. So for leaders and entrepreneurs currently out there, so talk to us a little bit. What lessons from your journey would you adopt, or not even just adopt, but which ones are calling you to do more? So talk to us a little bit more. What is the things you love about what you do? What are some of the things I'm doing this, and you said this earlier, I just do this. I just love doing this. So talk to us a little bit. What resonates with you, and what could go away if it could go away tomorrow?
So if I had a team, I would have everything running by itself. And what I would do personally, if I could do it, is I would drive like an RV, and I would go with a fitting station in the back and all of that, and a simulator. And I would drive to VAs and children's hospitals, and I would bring golf to them. And I would be able to say, it doesn't matter that you're in a hospital bed. Doesn't matter that you're, missing both your legs. Doesn't matter that, you just had surgery. Like, let's go out there, bro. Like, I got you. We're going to go play a couple of holes. Like, no problem. That's what I want to do. I want to invest my time actually out there growing the game of golf. Most people talk about it, and very little people actually do it, because it's been the game of golf has been very centralized to the golf course. I mean, there's nowhere else you could have gone to go learn, really. Not many people learned, like, some of the guys back in the day, hitting out of the sand at the beach, or hitting into a mattress against your wall. Not many people play like that anymore. So you have to learn out on the golf course. And now that simulators are becoming a thing and this virtual reality is becoming a thing, I think it's great, but we have to remember that you lose a lot of the therapeutic means about getting outside and being grounded. So I think it's a great in between. I think it's a great way to introduce it to people, just like cooking would be. It'd be great to have the virtual setup so you understand the flow and the way things work, but nothing's ever going to replicate the real thing,
I love that. So, if you were given the opportunity to do this over again, what would you do differently? Because there is so many people out there which are entrepreneurs. Actually, entrepreneurs within them, they know that they can serve the community in a bigger way. They know that if they do this, they can have a greater impact in the industry. What would you do different? And so you've been doing this now almost 4 years, if I now remember this correctly. So go ahead.
About my company's like a year and a half old, but I've been doing this like 3 years now, total, like invested in it.
What would you do different?
That's a hard question. Because I honestly, first thing I want to say is nothing. I don't think I would do anything different, because it was all a learning. It was all a learning process. I mean, I chalk some of it up for wins, some of it up for losses. I mean, I'm sure maybe I wouldn't have burned some of the bridges being as bold as I was. I won't say any names, but I would send gift certificates to golf courses already filled out and say, hey, just have your manager sign this for me. People don't want to do the work, right? So I'd be like, hey, here it is. It's ready to go. Just sign that and then email it back to me and we're good to go. And I'll use that in my raffles or my giveaways or my thing, because I mean, I guess I would maybe not be so brazen in some of that, but that's how you learn. Like, that's who I am. I'm going to be that guy who says what he says. I'm going to be the one who I went through it and I saw your flaws and I'm going to tell you, but not only am I going to tell you, but I'm going to address a way to fix it. Right. I'm not a proponent of offering criticism without a way to actually rectify what you're complaining about. If you don't have a plan of action, then maybe you should just not say anything.
Yeah, I love that. So the question we ask everybody else. So where do you see this thing going with the Warrior Golf Academy? Where would you like it to go? And what is next for you on the agenda?
I'm going up to the PGA show here next week. So I'll be attending, shaking a lot of hands and seeing a lot of people. So I think that's going to be great for introductions. I went last year and it was like overload. I was like, it's a lot. Like, going to these shows and these places with all those people, it's a lot for me. Because I'm used to going into a place and trying to see how many people there are, where an out is, or what, and when it's so crowded, I get a lot of pent up anxiety and stuff. So it's a lot to kind of overcome some of that. And I think this year it's going to go a little bit better, knowing that I've kind of made some friends. So I think I can kind of rely on a few people to hang out with. And I think pushing the agendas, the biggest thing is going to be just awareness. If I could do 2 or 3 or 4 podcasts a week and I could just gain more people and just send my message out there, and that's it. I mean, everybody's message has been, what's different about people. I was just reading this other thing, as a disabled individual, the disabled population makes up the largest demographic and bridges everything. But nobody ever includes disabled in anything. They're always like minority owned, or are you a veteran owned, or are you religious this way? But nothing matters. Because what if autism, if you have something, disabilities range, they don't care. It doesn't care about anything else. And I wish more people would start thinking that. And I think as the world starts moving forward, we're starting to identify that it's getting worse with these cell phones and all that. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't know what's causing it, but seems like nowadays people have a lot more, ADD and attention disorders and.
I totally agree. I always use the phrases that we over-related yet underconnected, because we so understand how I need to do this. I should really do this, but I really don't. So for me, the message you have is amazing. I know that you will be huge. So hopefully, this goes to you sooner than later, because for me, I absolutely love what you do. And for me, I want to make sure all our listeners today out there, you need to go and check out what he does. And as you check out his feedback and how he communicates, and some people might think it's straightforward, but for me, it's very clear. And for me, that's one of the biggest lessons I have learned following you. So we just need to be clearer and asking people for things, because you know what the great thing is? When I ask for people say to me, oh, nobody ever asked me, or nobody ever asked me the way that you do. So for me, that alone needs to be becoming your message. So with that, I want to say thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur show. For our listeners, if you want to learn more about the journey from Jonathan and connect with the Warrior Academy, make sure you guys got to check him out. So with that, Jonathan, what are some of the ways people can get a hold of you?
I say you could probably Google search Warrior Golf Academy. Instagram is at Warrior Golf Academy. My LinkedIn is my name, Jonathan Sessa, Sessa. But I mean, my biggest takeaway, if anybody is watching this, would say just be nice to somebody. Just a smile or a wave can literally save somebody's life. You have no idea, because I've been there. That look in someone's face when they're just like, had it, and you're like, don't worry, you know what, it's going to be all right. That's all it takes. Like, be nice.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So I know we have a little bit of time left. So are you up for playing rapid fire question food service edition? So if you are,
food service edition. All right. Let's see what you got.
By the way, you got the brand new center question. So the way it works is I ask you for a question. The numbers are between 1 and 25. So we have 25 questions. So we wanted to answer you and answer quickly if you can. And it always ends with a yes or no and why. So explain your answer. So you're up for playing rapid fire question food service edition.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, awesome. Give me a number between 1 and 25.
We're going to go with 1.
Okay. Can bacon make literally everything this better, including ice cream? Yes or no, and why?
Yes, because I love bacon and I love ice cream. Those are like two of my favorite things. I have ice cream every night. I have ice cream literally every night. But I've tried it, like the little maple ice cream with bacon chopped up pieces. You're missing out. As a chef, I think you're missing out.
Okay, give me a number between 1 and 25.
Okay, let's go 14.
14. If it's not spicy enough, or if it's not sweet enough, do you ask for the condiment? Yes or no? And why?
Yes.
So why do you ask
Always.
for it?
Always. Because I was in the military, and if you ever ate eggs that are hard and they're supposed to be scrambled, then you know what I'm talking about. We call them field eggs.
Exactly what you're talking about.
And your biscuits are hard. You put hot sauce on everything, and it's an insult. So if you see me putting hot sauce on all the food, you know it's not good, but I will ask for it.
And anybody listen from the military, you guys do an amazing job cooking your eggs. Okay, give me a number between 1 and 25.
Let's go 12.
12. Have you ever accidentally started a small fire in the kitchen? And if you haven't started a fire, are you a real chef? Yes or no, and why?
So I have, and it was a grease fire cooking bacon.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately
That's good.
enough,
Oh,
so
okay.
it has happened, and that was a terrible experience. And
Uh,
I think every chef has started a fire.
I think they
Maybe
did.
maybe not good chefs, but everyone
I,
started
I
somewhere.
think they all started a fire, and you will probably be making ice cream. So then everybody, give him a number between 1 and 25.
For me again.
Yeah, for you. Give me a number between
Oh,
1 and 25.
okay, 8.
8. Should coffee be used as a marinade for steak? Yes or no, and why?
Well, I said no. I've never tried it, so that's why. I don't know if it would be any good. Like I drink coffee. I don't care if it tastes like mud too. I drink coffee in the morning, but
He
I don't
he's too
know. I've never
busy
tried it.
cooking bacon. Give me a
Only
number
bacon.
between 1 and 25.
Let's go 4.
Ooh, this is an oldie but goodie. Pineapple on a pizza. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why?
Because it was amazing. The first time that I guess I really tried it and I really liked it was with cashews. I was
Oh,
working at a pizza place, and I worked pizza for a long time, like through high school and stuff, and at Domino's, and then you make a pizza under 30 seconds and you get a little badge, you know? But
oh,
yeah, I would put
okay. If anybody listens to it, do not
cashews,
put pineapple.
pineapple and cashews, man. I don't know why it was so good.
There's a whole movement of getting it off the pizza. Okay, last question between 1 and 25.
Let's go 24.
24. Oh, if a dish was Instagrammable, sorry,
Ooh.
should it not be eaten? Yes or no, and why?
It should definitely be eaten, unless it's like fake. Because some of those people, I know you food service people take fake stuff and take a picture
Oh,
of it,
oh,
and
you
it's like
food service people.
plastic. It's like plastic that you spray painted. Now that I would not eat, but everything else, of course, is so. Oh yes, yeah, I did that when I
Okay.
worked at the golf course. Yeah, we would. I had some great food pictures. You
Okay,
might not want to eat it though.
yeah, if Jonathan ever comes across your desk as hiring for food service, I would reconsider. I would reconsider.
I
So,
need the help. I think you should do it because I need the help. That's the biggest problem.
so John, with that, thank you for playing a rapid fire question. Food
Christian,
service.
thank you. Awesome
So,
game. I like it.
so for me, there's 3 key takeaways from the day. Number 1, there's really nothing you can't do. And if there was one thing I learned from
Mhm.
our conversation today, there's really nothing you can't do. Number 2, go out there and ask people for help, because there's people which are willing to do and have given you some really good advice. Go out there and ask questions. And the final thing what I learned today is do not put bacon on everything. But do not do things. So
Oh man,
don't
I'm the
listen.
bacon pineapple guy now. I do it all the stuff you're not supposed to do.
So if you ever have the opportunity, reconsider. So with that, I want to say thanks for being here, Jonathan. So give everybody the final word of wisdom. So what would you want them to know about you?
That's it. Just be nice to other people. I want to say with this time, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Christian, for allowing me the time. That's one thing we never get back in this world is our time. So for everyone that stayed around this long, I honestly thank you for listening to my story and having the opportunity to reach out to you. And most people say it, but they don't ever follow up on it. If you need anything, feel free, please reach out and I will do my best to help you. I can't help everybody, obviously. I can't give money and things like that, but like reach out and I'll see what I can honestly do. You will
Awesome.
not reach out with a blank screen. So you will get something back.
Was awesome, and thank you for the conversation today. Thanks for the gift of your time. I agree with you. The time is the most worth asset we have. So I really appreciate the gift of your time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your story, and thanks for sharing the little setbacks you had. Because I honestly believe, now I can go out and do anything, because if you can overcome what you did, for me, this is just admirable. So thank you for being here today. Thanks for the gift of your time. And to our listeners, until next time, remember to disrupt your kitchen, fire up your career, and stay hungry for change. I'm Christian. I'm here with Jonathan, and we are out of here. So with that, I want to say, go out there, be the challenge, and be the chef who says, no, don't set the world on fire, because that's what Jonathan is doing with the cooking. Go out there and make a difference, and stay disruptive, everybody. Thanks for being here today, and thanks for showing up today. Thanks for being here today, Jonathan.
All right. Thank you, everyone.